So right now we're waiting for Jonathan to come to his bus stop. We're at the corner of Shawmut and Mass Ave. So we just interviewed Miss Margolis, and we told her that we got on the bus this morning with Jonathan at 5:35, and her jaw literally dropped to the floor. Like, he has to wake up at like 4:30.
Oh my god.
And he was saying that he only gets like 4.5 hours of sleep every night, every single, and that's a good day, he said. Like, he was like, a great day, so then I get 4 hours of sleep, 4.5 hours of sleep.
That's not sustainable.
So tired. I want to cry every day. I'm about to cry now. Like, I don't get enough sleep at all.
The message was clear. Whites opposed to change in the school system were not going to back down. Most schools were calm, but some were battlegrounds.
When we started up the hill, you can hear people saying, "Niggas go home." There were signs. They had made up signs saying, "Black people stay out. We don't want any niggers in our school."
But the fight to correct years of miseducation was overshadowed by fear and violence.
The white kids felt intimidated that they had black kids in the school. The black kids were intimidated because they were in this white school and they did not want to be pushed around.
You can walk down the corridor and a black person would bump into a white person or vice versa. That would be one fight, and they try to separate it because at that time it was so much tension in the school.
Just the slightest thing would set it off.
There's definitely a sense of otherness here as a METCO student, and just being a student of color, I think, because going to a Boston public school, I'm around all kinds of people that look like me, of course, and then I'm here and there's such a minority of kids that look like me. So there's definitely a sense of otherness, and you can tell that they look at you differently. You can tell that they have these preconceived thoughts about you. So I don't think I'm integrated, no. And we can even see it in you walk into the cafeteria one day and then you ask yourself, like, no one says it out loud, but we all ask ourselves, why are all the black kids sitting together?
You will see big pockets of brown kids sitting together. And so in social situations, we talk about diversity, but what's really happening with our students in those quiet times, in those spaces where they can just be kids, it's still sort of segregated.
Do you think going to the school is going to help you in the long run?
Definitely. I think that because it's so close to what it's like in the real world for an African American in any professional environment, I think that it will definitely help me and give me the experience that I will need, because there's going to be ignorant white people everywhere and racist white people everywhere. So it's good to have that experience beforehand rather than having to adapt to it in immediate space.
Kids have generally said they are much happier that they went here, if for no other reason than their college is going to look like this school.
There shouldn't be a need for the program ultimately in an ideal society. And that doesn't mean that I want more students of color. I want more diversity. And if in a perfect society, you wouldn't need the METCO program. Does that make sense?
So it's 3:20 right now. We left Boston at 5:35 this morning and school let out at 2:20, so it took about an hour for us to get back into the city. Kids who do extracurriculars won't be able to get back until much later. The late bus today is at 7:45 at night. So Jonathan unfortunately doesn't want to wait that long for the late bus, so he has to take the city MBTA bus back home.